PlayStation. Today is about the PS4. Ooh. It's about the cheapest games in our PS4 collection, trying to go on this journey to show that collecting games doesn't have to be too expensive.
It doesn't have to be.
And we started this thinking about our retro collection.
Yep.
But when you do a series like this, you have to cover everything.
You gotta cover everything.
So fairly modern, maybe not so modern, or maybe the time is just right. Jumping on the PS4. So these are the 10 cheapest games we have in our PS4.
Yes, we have a decent PS4 collection. I think we have over 100 games on PS4, which is wild. But a lot of the games that we have are rare or expensive games. So this list is kind of really cool to look at. There is a few games that are kind of expensive, but you could probably find some of these for way cheaper than what we're going to talk about. The prices we're going to talk about are from pricecharting.com. So it's not the most accurate, but it's something.
In CIB prices.
Yes, this is CIB, not disc only, not loose. So
when we do cartridge-based stuff, it's cartridge price.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is CIB. So let's jump in with number 10.
Hi, this is Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, and you're watching Gaming Off the Grid.
God of War Ragnarok, the newest God of War. Haven't freaking played it.
I haven't played it either.
I've played 1 through 3, played the PSP versions. I've been around the God of War front. I even dabbled with the 2016. Maybe I'm mixing that up with Doom. Maybe it's 2018. Can't remember, but I know I haven't played Ragnarok. Yeah. But I found Ragnarok at a pawn shop for $10.
That's insane because according to price charting, it's going for $25.61. So I'm sure, just like you did, you can find it for way cheaper.
Yeah.
I've never played this game. I really want to because God of War is a phenomenal series and all the God of Wars are incredible. And I've heard amazing things about Ragnarok. And just from the gameplay I've seen and watched online, I'm like, this looks badass. Like, it's God of War.
So I don't know what's going to happen with collectability of games. Is like the PS4 version going to be more collectible because it was later in the life cycle versus the PS5 version? But I do think it's worth mentioning the PS4 version does have a PS5 upgrade.
Yes,
it's not you have to spend a little bit.
It's not free though, so
I think it's like $10 or something.
That is one thing to keep in mind though. If you do have a PS5, you can get some PS4 games for cheap, and they might work on your PS5.
Yeah,
you know?
They'll all work, but there may be upgrades.
Upgrades and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. Then moving on to number 9. Number 9, this is a fun one. We went down a rabbit hole for a couple months where we were obsessed with pinball video games.
Yeah.
And it sounds really dumb, but when you play them, it's not.
Yeah.
And we have a big collection of the pinball games, but only one made the list today, and that's Marvel Pinball Epic Collection Volume 1. I'm not sure if there's a Volume 2, but Volume 1 includes so many different boards. You got freaking Avengers, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Hulk, Civil War, Venom, Blade, and there's even more than that. You know, it's like there's so many different boards. Something about playing pinball on the PS4 is fun. Obviously, I'd rather play it in real life, but playing it at home, it feels great.
So I think this started because we both were like, oh man, we love playing pinball in the arcade. We looked at the game room, trying to get some kiosks and arcades in here, and we're like, well, pinball, they just stick out too far.
They're massive machines.
Well, maybe we could find some, and these are really fun.
Dude, they're so fun. Like, what's really nice is like when I play pinball in real life, I play it for a little bit, I have a blast, but I never know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
With these, it's like you can actually spend time learning the boards and figuring out what the best thing is. It feels like you're actually accomplishing pinball when you play it on the console. I don't know. Pinball games are fun, and we have a blast with this. Freaking $21. That's not bad for all these different boards and all this stuff. Obviously, it is just pinball, so there's not much depth there, but we love it.
All right, coming in at number 8, Those Who Remain, a psychological horror game that neither one of us have played.
Nope.
I love doing these episodes because that's the backlog struggle that you have when you find stuff out in the wild. You can't play it all. We play a ton.
Yeah.
And we can't get to these games. I've heard this game's kind of poor, but I think it looks cool.
It looks really cool, and it looks interesting, and I love psychological horror games, especially because it's almost close to October. It's almost fall season. It's $17.87, so less than $20 for this. I have heard mixed reviews of it, though, but I haven't played it, and, you know, obviously, some people say games suck, but I love them, so I'm not going to let the reviews deter me from playing this game, because I am intrigued by it.
This is another one I snagged at the pawn shop for $10, because it sounded cool.
Yeah.
When I was just looking at the case, I buy games at the pawn shop, a lot of how we all used to rent games as kids
just
at the video store.
Just looking at the case,
Because I don't have time to be on my phone. I got to get in, get out, and you see like Madden, NBA, 2K. Oh, here's something cool.
Ooh, and it's only $10.
I'll try it. And if you buy 3, you get 3 for $20.
That's great. So even cheaper. So you might have even got a bundle.
Yeah.
So we haven't played it yet. So let us know what you guys think of the game if you have played it. I've heard mixed reviews, but I do want to try it for myself. Next up is a remake. We've got a few remakes we're going to talk about in this list, but that is the Resident Evil 3 remake, coming in at less than $15 for this, which I feel like this just came out, I think, a couple years ago now, but it feels like it just came out to me.
Yeah.
Because my time, space, distortion, all that stuff. This is a great remake. Obviously, when the 2 remake came out, that was a big deal. And it was like, holy crap, this is incredible. When 3 came out, I was less excited because it just felt like it was on the same engine as 2. Obviously, it's still a really good remake.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil 3 is still really fun, but I think I liked the 2 remake better.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been we just played them so close together.
Yeah, we did play them.
But really cool remake. I do think it loses a little bit of the charm of the original game. I like the GameCube version of Res 3.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the one that I gravitate towards. But still a hell of a job that they did, and this is another one. So we did a video on this when it first came out, I think, or a live stream, one of the two.
Yeah, I think we did talk about it.
And we didn't even play a copy that we owned. We played our buddy Brian's copy. He was like, yeah, you guys can play through it. We did, but then I found it for $10 in a thrift store a couple years later because we're just cheapskates.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I think if you like Resident Evil and you haven't ever got a chance to play through 3, this game's rad.
Yeah, especially for less than $15. Like they did a great job with it. Obviously, there is some gripes, and I know like they messed some stuff up. If you're a diehard fan, you complain. But if you've never played it, it's a great way to do it on modern consoles, HDMI. Yeah. You don't have to worry about getting an expensive copy for the GameCube or like, older stuff. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 6, Batman Return to Arkham comes in at $14.50. Disclaimer on this. The Arkham collection came out after this.
Yes, it did.
So unless you find this game like dirt cheap, I would go with the Arkham collection.
Yes, because the Arkham collection includes all the games, I believe.
Yeah, and I think the versions of the games that are on this are on that as well.
So if you can find that for cheap, that's a great way to go. But if you're just looking for a cheap way to play the Arkham games, this includes 2 of them. Remasters of Arkham Asylum and then Arkham City. I haven't played all the Arkham games, but I've played Arkham City and I've played Arkham Asylum. And those 2 are the best ones, I think, in my opinion.
Arkham City's the best in my
Arkham Asylum. Yeah. I remember the first time I played Asylum, I was like, they like revolutionized superhero games.
Yes,
like the fighting mechanics and all this stuff. And then Arkham City was just like bigger and better and like, oh man, these games are incredible. So this is a great collection if you don't want to get the full collection.
Yeah.
And you're looking for something cheap. Just 2 games here, but still $14.50 for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, remasters of it, modern TV, modern consoles. These Batman games are incredible.
And so crazy that I wouldn't pay $14.50 for this. But if you find it at a yard sale or a garage sale for a couple bucks, you gotta snag it. If you don't have the whole collection.
If you find it for like $5, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the full collection. We don't have the full collection, I don't believe.
But we have all the games.
Yeah, so we don't need it. Yeah, because I played Arkham Asylum on 360 and then Arkham City on
I think we're all over the board. We have like a couple on PS3, a couple on PS4, a couple on Wii U.
The Batman games are just a blast, so not bad for this. 2 games, but keep your eyes out for the full collection.
Yeah.
Next up is a game, again, that I've never played. I don't think you've ever played.
Nope.
This is a recent pickup that you got for way cheaper than what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
$14.20 for this bad boy, and that's Nier Automata. Hopefully I said that right. Nier Automata?
I think you got it. Yeah.
This is a action RPG published by Square Enix, so they know how to make freaking action RPGs. Gameplay and stuff looks fun, looks great, looks like an action RPG, looks awesome. I do think this might be a sequel. I think there's a game on PS3 called Nier, just Nier.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a sequel to that. I'm not 100% sure. Action RPG for less than $15.
Only reason I picked this up is somebody in the comment section said we had to play it.
Oh, okay.
And I found it then, like, literally, that's just how the world works. Like, 3 weeks later at a yard sale or something for a few bucks. Maybe it was on sale at GameStop. I can't exactly remember, but I got it for like $3.
That's awesome. So, like, most of the games we're talking about today, we got for way cheaper than the prices, and this is our cheapest collection. So even our overall price we're talking about at the end, we got it for way less than that.
Yeah.
So keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
You can find these games for way cheaper.
Yep. Moving on to number 4, the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, yes. This was a big freaking deal, because Final Fantasy VII is arguably the best one in the series.
Yeah, it's weird. They did the remake in 2 parts.
Yes.
I haven't got to experience the full thing, but I did dabble with this. But Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite PS1 games of all time.
Yes.
I think for this being $13.65 on the PS4, maybe there's better ways to get it now.
Yeah, maybe.
Cheaper ways.
Yeah.
But wow, really awesome.
It's a really good remake if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, or if you played it back in the day and want to play like a polished version of it.
Yeah.
This is for this price, that's wild.
And they did it so well that I do feel like it may be hard for younger generations to go back and play the original 7. Hardware, CRT TVs, the whole 9. This is the story. I mean, this is what you need.
This is the game. They freaking nailed it. Man, I can't believe it's this cheap, because again, it feels like it just came out.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a couple years, my memory is terrible, but it feels like brand new to me.
Yeah.
But it's already dropped this much, so
And I didn't even pay that much for it.
Yeah,
This is another $10 pawn shop find.
That's wild. So if you can find it for that price, you gotta play it. The next games we're going to talk about, this is where we're lumping two together because it's in the same universe. The one that makes the list is Doom VFR, but then, honorable mention, Doom 3 VR Edition.
Yeah.
So Doom VFR, $9.07, and then Doom 3 VR Edition is $10.40. It's freaking Doom, baby, but it's VR.
Yeah.
And it's really cool for a little bit. Doom is badass. Doom is so, especially the ones on PS4, it's incredible. I really want to play the new one that came out. But when put it into VR, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's really cool for a little bit, but I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I would rather play just the console variants of these, but man, they're rad. They are rad. For like 40 minutes, maybe 30.
It's really cool for a little bit. But if you're a big fan of VR and you like Doom, these are amazing.
Yeah.
I just think it's too much.
I would agree, but they're cheap.
Yeah, they are cheap.
So if you get a VR headset on the low, like we did, and you want to try some VR games, these are pretty cool. Keeping in the vein of VR, which we know very little about.
It's new to us.
Yes, but this will scratch that light gun itch in a way.
In a way, the closest it can.
Yeah, Rush of Blood, or Until Dawn Rush of Blood.
Until Dawn Rush of Blood. This is the sequel to Until Dawn. Until Dawn, a great survival horror game on the PS3, I believe.
Yeah.
This is way different because it's VR and you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's like almost like a rail shooter, but bringing it into VR. Don't think a traditional rail shooter, but kind of.
Because
like
you're just
gallery shooter meets a rail shooter.
It's a gallery shooter because you're on a roller coaster and you're shooting things, but there is jump scares and stuff. There's not much depth to it. It is just kind of just like you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But it is scary.
Yeah.
Because shit's popping out at you and it's scary.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. VR is cool, but I just can't play it for that long.
For what it's worth, it's one of my favorite VR games that I've ever played. Haven't played a ton.
Yes, but
it's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite, and my favorite is number one. Oh man, number one. So this is a VR game as well. This, I think, I haven't played a ton of VR. I'm new to VR. But I think this is the best VR game ever made.
Well, I would vote the same thing, but I don't know
nothing
much about.
I don't know much. And this is coming in at less than $8 for this bad boy. Obviously, you got to get the VR headset and all that stuff separate, but $7.96 for Blood and Truth. This game is so sick.
Yeah.
The story is so badass. And the gameplay and I remember when I came over and you were like, you gotta check this out.
Yeah.
And then we played it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So this is a game, obviously I talked about VR is fun for a little bit. This is a game that I could play for hours.
Yeah.
That's how good it is. You gotta make sure you get adjusted right and stuff.
Yeah.
But the story is incredible. The gameplay is incredible. It is just, you feel like you're actually in it.
And what I
VR.
like is it's a pretty short beat.
Yes,
which is good in this setting.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of settings, short beats are fun.
But you feel so badass, freaking shooting and moving, and then it cuts to interrogation scenes, and this guy's screaming at you, and you're like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So you actually feel
it's... with the VR, you got to keep in mind, we've only played the original PSVR.
Yeah.
We haven't played the second PSVR 2.
PSVR 2, yeah.
I haven't played any of the, I don't even know what they're called. Oculus?
Yeah.
I don't.
I know nothing about VR. So when I say it's the best VR game, I just know this version of it.
Because somebody in the comments will be like, yeah, it's not the best VR game. The best VR game is this. Well, we probably haven't played it.
Yeah.
We have hooked up our VR 4 times just to piss around. It's
fun.
like, hey, we play it for a little bit before we come and film episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
But none of the VR stuff grabbed us to the point we gotta completely devote our time.
I do really want to beat Blood and Truth. I haven't beat it because that game is phenomenal. But the tough part with VR is I have to take breaks. It starts to hurt my head a little bit.
Yeah,
it just seems, and it's such a pain in the ass to set up.
Yeah.
It feels so gimmicky, and obviously there is fun games and Blood and Truth is great, but I'd rather just sit on a chair or a couch and with a controller.
Yeah.
I don't need to be fully immersed. So.
I agree. But for $157.25, you could have all these games on your PS4. And this video doesn't necessarily fit the narrative of this whole series. It's weird talking about the PS4 in this series, but we did want to cover every console we collect for. And I do want to mention that I think the time is now if you ever want to collect for the PS4, because I'm seeing this stuff in droves at yard sales, thrift stores, garage sales. I mean, was it a year ago? We popped the footage in right now. You found Deadpool on PS4 for $1.
For so cheap. which is so wild because that game is expensive. It's just so wild that all these games, they come out, like, some of these feel like they're brand new to me and they've already dropped in price.
Yeah.
And most of the games, the prices that we talked about are not what we got them for.
Yeah,
like, we're getting them for $5, $10. You can even find them for way cheaper. So just go out to thrift stores, go out to garage sales.
Yep.
I know it's starting to become fall, but there's probably some garage sales out there somewhere, and you can find these games. People beat them, and then they're like, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And
exactly.
online is still available. All the, like, they'll play on your PS5.
Yep.
Now is the time to get PS4 games, and some of these games are so much fun. Must-play games. I really want to play God of War Ragnarok.
And there is a false narrative out there. A lot of people say, well, PS4 games aren't on the disc, they're just a digital download. That's not true. More PS4 games than you think.
Yes, are actually on the
They're
disc.
actually on the disc. Now, does that include the day one updates and all that
No,
stuff?
yeah.
No. But a lot of the stuff, if your PS4 is not online, you can still play it.
Yeah, which is really nice. You can get it for cheap, and then if it is online, all that stuff's still available. You can download the DLCs,
Yeah.
you can download like the expansion packs or whatever, all this stuff. So, and some of these games, if there's online, you can play with buddies and stuff. So,
And I don't want to be misquoted. There are plenty of PS4 games that do require
Yes, that do.
an install and a download to play, but there are a vast majority. Over 50% of the library is on the disc.
It's on the disc, so
Yeah.
that's really nice. $157, but I bet you could get all these games if you looked and searched for way cheaper.
Yeah.
And some of these are amazing. The remakes are great. The Batman games, the VR stuff, yeah. The PS4 is awesome. I play my PS4 daily.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
It's an all-in media device.
Yeah, dude, that's how I watch. That's how I stream shows.
Yeah.
I use it to watch DVDs.
Yeah.
I play video games on it. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a fantastic console, and now's the time. But again, this episode doesn't necessarily fit the narrative of what we're trying to do with the series, but we had to cover the PS4. Good old trusty PS4. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing to the channel, and giving the video a like. It just helps promote it to other people that don't like this type of stuff. But we'll catch you guys in the next episode of the one and only Gaming Off the Grid.
PlayStation